Right, so coming to the end of the hexacopter build, decided to take the gimbal and all of the gubbins off the bottom whilst I do flight testing. Right, so we're set up in Mission Planner. We've got all the electronics on the board. We've got the GPS module and compass, got the flight controller, all of the motors and all of the props are now set up with a battery. Unfortunately at the moment not got a very good battery on it, so I need to buy some new batteries. There's my receiver, radios ready to program, Spectrum DX18, gorgeous radio. Don't actually need it for flying a hex, the hex isn't that complicated on the radio. All of the controls are actually in that computerized board there. Right, so we'll start powering things up and then give you a quick little overview of what's going on. Here we are in Mission Planner, got all of these different things. It connects up via a 433 megahertz dongle, which is on the front of the hexacopter there, downloading telemetry data live, and do your waypoints and sat nav, everything all in one go. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to start powering up the hex. I'm going to connect to the Mission Planner. Right, so here we go. Right, first thing I do is I plug in the main battery. Now, what that does is it starts the main board up, and then I'm also going to put a separate receiver pack into there as well. There's a bit of a fail-safe, because sometimes when you try to power up servos, for example, see the blue light flashing? The blue light flashing there indicates that we're starting to get a GPS lock. Right now, if you come over to the Mission Planner, at the moment we're not connected yet. So if you go into the Mission Planner and you just come over to here and press connect, it should start seeing the link and should start connecting the status. It's getting all the parameters. Speaking to the hexacopter is getting all the parameters off the board, and there you see things start moving. Now if you zoom in here, this is already got a fair idea where it is. We're waiting for a GPS fix, but it knows it's got an altitude of 2.59 meters off the floor. It's got no ground speed. It knows where it's pointing virtually, and there's the GPS picture of the top of our house, and it knows it's at the back of the house, which it is. So anyway, so there we're still waiting for a full GPS fix, but that's no problem. And what I can show you in the meantime, put this GoPro here. So if we lift up the hexacopter, here's the mounting for where the GoPro will go, and all the gubbins. At the moment I've taken that off while I'm going to be test flying, and there's retractable gear so that when the GoPro is eventually on there, we're going to be able to get the undercarriage out of the way of the gears, and I'll show you how that works. Flick a switch on the transmitter and the retracts fold out of the way. and if you want to basically put them back down again, there's another switch. That's partly why I have a backup battery, because they take up quite a lot of power, but they're going to be invaluable when I do put the camera on the board. Right, at the moment we're still waiting for a GPS fix. We were putting it. So here we know we've got the board waiting for a GPS fix, and got the receiver all lit up and the thing, and we've got all the props installed. And one other thing to show you is whenever, if I just put that there, if you have a look on the horizon to the top left hand side, whenever I tilt the hexacopter, the horizon knows where it's pointing and where it's going, even though it still hasn't got a, oh, it's now got a GPS 3D fix, but it's saying bad health. It's probably to do with the fact that we're indoors. Now, so what to do when you've spent, for example, if you have a look at the top of my house, you can see we're at the back of the house, and you can see that the hexacopter is pointing across the garden, so it actually knows exactly where it is and where it's pointing to within a few feet. It's not exactly, but like I say, it isn't the best GPS lock at the moment. Now, what to do when you've programmed everything, you've checked everything, and you want to know that everything's behaving as it sort of should. Well, this is what I have to do. Sort of take your life into your hands a little bit, and I'm going to now test this hexacopter in a bit of an unorthodox way. So I've set up a failsafe, and what it means is I'm going to basically fly it by holding on to it. I'll just get you a slightly better view of this. So let's get this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the hexacopter down and I'm going to arm it. So you hold the stick over to the right, see that flashing? It's now on. Start the rotors up. It's literally just right. So that's basically testing out the stability of it. Oh, my arm's killing me. Just disabled it again. away. So what happened there is the battery got to what I programmed to be a preset low battery. It's reading 10.66 volts now, but when it was actually under stress it went down to 9.6 volts. And then what that did is it created a failsafe mode, which was basically put it into a land mode, which you can see on the right hand side. And then what you saw is it gently powered down, and as I put it down on the table, it detected that it had actually landed and then turned itself off. And I'm pretty impressed with that. At the moment it's showing bad GPS health. That's because it's a little bit away from the window and it's falling in and out of GPS fix, but that won't be a problem when it's outside. And also the low battery is probably affecting that, but overall I would say that's pretty successful. Very happy with that. So some flight testing to follow, and then start flying the GoPro, which I'm currently holding, and very excited. So yeah, hardware DJI 550 hexacopter with DJI motors and props, Opto ESCs with the Argicopter 2.6 board with the external U-Blocks GPS, and at the moment just the folded undercarriage, and my really old aeroplane flight batteries, which are knackered, which are only keeping this thing in the air for a few minutes, but it's all good. So yeah, very happy with the way that just went, because in some other modes that I've tried it was doing some very strange things and was scaring me, but that was very predictable. I'm quite happy to go out and fly that. Anyway, another video coming soon. Bye bye.